Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Acanfora, and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show in Bayonne. Today my guest is Dr. Noah DEKOYER. Dr. Noah, how are you doing?
Great, Dr. Mike. Glad to be here again.
Awesome. You're like Buck Henry. You've been like on the most shows like Saturday Night Live.
And hope to be on many more times.
There you go. So let's get right to it because we got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Let's talk about Run Like Health, the event that we sponsor and we thought up. And let's talk a little bit about that first.
Okay. About 5 years ago, you poked your head into my office and said, our next event that we're going to do is a 5K. Mm-hmm. Knowing that I've run about 100 road races, you knew that I would know who to call. And I called some people, and we got Sports Action Reaction, a company that helps set up and create races or new races and races year after year. And they helped us get our feet under us. And what we did in the office was we asked people, patients, to come up with a name for the race. Mm-hmm. And we had a contest, and they came up with the Run Like Health. And this coming April 19th will be our 4th race that we've done.
And it's amazing at how well this has taken on a life of its own. And that's Run Like Health, HELL-TH, not HEAL. It's just a pun, a play on words. But in the 3 years, we've had over 1,000 participants combined.
We've had over 1,000 participants. We've donated over $5,000 to the Friends of Special Children, a great organization in Bayonne, and we've gotten some great continuing sponsorship from BCB, yep, from Spine and Sport, from Kenrick, from the local gyms in town. Yep. If I forget any, please forgive me, but our main sponsors has always been BCB, yep, Spine and Sport, and ourselves.
Yes, and the forum's been very
the forum,
active
absolutely,
in supporting this local event. So talk about how this came, go back even further. You had done some research on this years ago when you were in practice, solo practice.
About 8 years ago I wanted to do it, mm-hmm, and I just couldn't pull the resources together. Yep. But when I moved into your building on 33rd and Broadway, and we had more resources and more people, we knew more people, we had more impact and more friends in the community, it was a much easier event to pull together. Sure. Much easier.
Talk about some of the other things that transpire on that day. They're not just the 5K.
Well, yeah, it's basically a 3-pronged event. Mm-hmm. There's a 1 mile wellness walk, so anybody can do that, 1 mile. We do it right in Stephen Gregg Park in Hudson County Park, right down by the monument. There's the 5K race. Yep. And my most fun part, because I just love kids and children, is there's a kids dash from kids 3 years old up to like 11 years old, and they set it up, and it's always the final event, and they all get awards and ribbons and medals. So basically what it does is it sets up the event where anybody can be a part of the event, whether you're a runner, walker, or a child or a kid.
Absolutely, and I think you've got the kids' races rigged because you've got all your nephews in it.
Just because I have 13 nephews and 2 kids and stack the cards in my favor doesn't mean anything.
And they're usually tackling each other, aren't they?
That's what makes it so much fun. Or they're on top of my shoulders and I'm running.
And you're running. Absolutely, that is hysterical. Let's talk about Friends of Special Children for a minute.
Friends of Special Children has been around, I want to say 28 years. Okay. Brian Ahern is a big part of it, so the Ahern family, most of us in Bayonne know, are a big part of it.
Absolutely.
Along with Tippy. And what it does is has one large event every year, the Saturday before Father's Day, behind Marist School, to help children, or to have a huge barbecue picnic party for children of special needs.
That's wonderful.
And then during the year, if there's anybody or any family who needs money or resources, or who knows, wheelchairs or canes, or anything like that, or money or goods, they help with that too.
That's wonderful.
And I know that they've done a lot of good in the town, and they've been around for a long time.
Absolutely.
And we've been fortunate enough to donate, it's a little bit more than $5,000, but we've donated $5,000 in the 3 years
That's
that we've
fantastic.
had our race.
That's huge. I didn't even realize it was that much.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And Brian does a great job with the Friends of Special Children, which is wonderful. Let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about our partnership along with Dr. Gonzalez and our exciting announcement.
Can I just say one thing about the race before
Absolutely,
we finish?
sure.
If anybody wants to sign up for the race, it's always the Saturday before Easter. It's April 19th this year, and you could sign up at www.practicehard.com. You look for April, and you look for the Run Like Health, and it's really easy to sign up.
Right. You could call the office as well, 201-858-0444, and the staff would be glad to help you with signing up. It's really easy. It's a fun day, a great event. All the proceeds go to charity, and we'd love to see you out there. So let's talk about our next venture together.
Okay, so the ironic thing is that when we started the race, we started up a company called Run Like Health.
Yes.
3.5 years later, it became more of a reality, and now you, me, and Dr. Charlie Gonzalez have an office. The company's Run Like Health. It's doing business as Grand Street Chiropractic, and the practice is 333 Grand Street. It's a chiropractic office directly across the street from the Brownstone, directly across the street from Jersey City Medical Center, and directly across the street from school number 3 and 4 in Jersey City.
It's amazing. For somebody who went to school down there as a prep graduate in 1983, it's amazing to go back to that neighborhood, and we've had the opportunity to walk around there, and it's phenomenal what they've done down there. So we have my dad being having been a Jersey City police officer, we have a lot of people or patients that come from Jersey City, and we're better able to serve them as our Bayonne roots extend all the way into Jersey City, and now be able to serve them on a more regular basis.
I think that's the most exciting thing, that we can take our particular brand of chiropractic and health and wellness care and extend it even further into Hudson County.
Absolutely.
And now we have all of Bayonne covered, and the first part of Jersey City covered here, and then the rest of Jersey City, primarily the rest of Hudson County covered down there.
Absolutely.
So it's great.
And the interesting thing is when we talk about the formation of Run Like Health, one of the sponsors for that is Dr. Alex Visco, a good friend of ours who is spine and sports, and it's in his building that we have set up our chiropractic office. So it is all intertwined and intermingled, and it's really exciting. So especially for Bayonne folks who take the light rail, you could get off at the Jersey Avenue exit on the light rail and come and get adjusted. We're there Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
It was amazing. I had a patient yesterday at 3 o'clock, and I didn't know that the light rail was literally right behind the parking lot in the building.
Truly
like
right behind.
One minute away. I was stupefied.
It is
Stupefied.
truly on the corner of Jersey Avenue. So it's really easy to get to for our Bayonne folks that we love taking care of that can't get into the office. And we've expanded the hours. We're open till 7 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday down there. So it's really easy to get to.
Parking.
There's parking. There's a huge parking lot behind the office. And we have our, which will lead into the other thing I want to talk about, we have our technology down there that allows us to, I think by law in the state we're not allowed to say we're better, but makes us uniquely different than most offices. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we use specific technology that's been certified by NASA and the Space Association that allows us not to guess, but to know where the subluxations are in a person's spine, where there's inflammation in the person's body, and how the person's dealing with stress on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
And then we can track it to make sure what we're doing is helping them in a profound way.
Absolutely, and that's brilliant. There's, as we say, we don't guess, we test.
Right.
So, and in school, To give you an understanding of how our sense of touch, how strong it is, you remember the palpation classes where you had to palpate basically a hair in a phone book
Right.
to be able to pass that class. And now we actually have computer technology that that gives us within a tenth of a degree the degree of inflammation comparing the right and left side of the spine.
It's amazing in a world that is so reliant on blood tests. Well, the blood doesn't control the body.
Correct.
Your nervous system controls
Brilliant.
controls the show. So if we can test that and see how that system's functioning, now we have a grasp on the master control system of the body, and then we have the tools to most profoundly affect that system in a positive way.
Absolutely. So we have this technology both in our Bayonne office and in our Jersey City office, and look forward to serving our Bayonne clientele as well as our Jersey City clientele to the best ability that we can. We're always on the cutting edge of technology, of science, and looking to basically make our community healthier. So, and that goes without saying. So let's talk a little bit about our big baby. This baby is our paleo challenges. Let's start at the beginning at how we came to this.
Okay. I would, to keep it really short, 4 years ago, you had some health challenges in your family, and you just started doing some investigation and uncovered a way to eat and a way how to eat that is ancestral, meaning that it's the way our ancestors ate and how our genes are most fitted to that style. So it's called the paleo diet, or Paleolithic age. And I think the easiest way to think of it is that you take away what you can eat and what you need to eliminate from your diet, and you need to eliminate grains, beans, and dairy.
Yep.
For at least 30 days.
Yes.
Those are the most offending, most inflaming foods that we can consume. And what we do is we eat a tremendous amount of fresh vegetables, fruit, nuts, seeds, eggs, and any kind of meat you could think of, fish, fowl,
Right.
Poultry. And we do that for 30 days. And we've taken 40 people through this 30-day process with tremendous and profound effects. And we use the same technology we use to evaluate somebody's spine.
Yep.
We're using this same exact technology to see how a change in someone's diet, reducing the inflammation in their system, affects the way their nervous system functions and how much more they can express how healthy they are.
Absolutely. I love your explanation for the eating of a paleo diet. Explain it with the football analogy, the football field analogy that you do so well.
So think of a football field as 100 yards.
Sure.
For 2 million years, or not 1.999 million years, we as humans developed, we hunted and gathered. We dug up tubers. We ate meat. We picked off fruit from the tree and grew our own vegetables. And then for the last tiny bit of time, the last 30,000 years, we started cultivating grains like wheat, rye, and barley. We started herding sheep and cattle and gathering their milk and eating cheese. So the football analogy is for 99.9 yards, we've ate this one way. And the last little bit, we started eating breads and packaged goods and processed goods, and even beans for that matter.
Sure.
And our health, in many cases, have really, our health overall, undeniably, as a society, has gone downhill because of it.
Sure. So let's talk a little bit about some of what we hear, the counter argument to it. Well, my grandparents didn't eat that way. So,
well, did your grandparents go to McDonald's every week?
No.
Did they eat out every week?
No, never.
Did they consume aspartame or sweet and low or extra?
None of it.
They didn't do any of that. Did more of them have gardens?
Yes.
Did more of them cook their meals every day?
Yes, absolutely.
So they ate dramatically different. Not to mention, did our grandparents have any genetically modified foods?
No.
None.
No, let's talk about that for a little bit. Genetically modified organisms, genetically modified food?
One of the most or more recent insults in our food supply is genetic modification, meaning you take a gene from one species, let's say a fish, and put it into a tomato to make a tomato more red or more squared or fit into a box more, to change the genetics to make it ship better and last longer.
Right.
And the problem is that we have no idea how that food is actually, or we do now, how that actually is affecting our physiology.
Sure. And that's not hybridization, where
No.
you cross-pollinate
Right.
and you can take seeds and not manipulate them, but hybridize
Right.
something.
A great example of something hybridized would be, just as an example, a tangelo is a grapefruit and an orange that just kind of came together,
Right.
forming a tangelo.
Right.
That's natural. That just happens.
Right.
Genetically modified occurs in a lab, then you create the seeds, and then we eat it, and it's definitely impacting our health from asthma and allergies and autoimmune diseases and obesity and all sorts of other things.
Speaking of which, I just read a study that they have found in the air and water samples, 75% of all air and water samples contain genetically modified organisms. That's frightening. I just read that the other day. So let's go back to our challenge where we had seen over the past couple of years people that are coming in to get adjusted regularly, and they do experience the benefits of getting adjusted. But the issue lies when they are going home and eating packaged food, really unhealthy food, shelf-stable foods. So they weren't getting the best results. And like you said, in my family, Denise had cancer. I had high blood pressure, blood sugar handling problems, cholesterol issues. And by doing the research, found that, well, if we eat this way, there's a greater potential for the body to do what chiropractic has been saying all along, is that the body could heal itself. And for yourself, you had a bit of health concerns, and you saw the results that we were getting and said, well, let's try this. And in that time, let's go to the 10,000 hour expertness of it all. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, let's use this example,
Sure.
just on the same time frame. If a person comes in and we adjust their spine,
Yep.
and they go home and they bang their head on the wall,
Yep.
and they come back and we fix that subluxation, and they bang their head on the wall again, they're never going to ultimately get better or heal.
Right.
And that's the same thing what's happening with food. So they come into our office, we love them, we adjust them, they leave, they feel great. Then they go home and they have a soda,
Diet
and
soda.
a diet soda to make it worse, a sandwich, and maybe a little tiny salad.
Right.
And then for breakfast they wake up and have a bowl of cereal.
Yep.
With homogenized, pasteurized, radiated milk.
Yep.
And then for lunch they have pasta again, and then on Friday they come in and their spine looks the same.
Yep.
Because their biochemistry is all out of whack.
Right.
And then we adjust them and they feel better, and it's this process that just keeps going on and on and on. So if we as chiropractors can adjust their spine, maintain their spine, and give them the tools of all the other aspects of health, like how to sleep properly, how to eat properly, how to exercise properly, we're going to create a healthy society that's not relying on us,
Yep.
but looks to us as spinal experts and health experts to move our society forward as a healthier society,
Yes.
as opposed to a less healthy society.
A more self-actualized society.
Exactly.
Indeed. Let's talk a little bit about, and we'll go back to the paleo, but some of the things that we offer in terms of our lectures. Go ahead off the top of your head.
So we've been lecturing to the community since we've opened the doors.
Yep.
But since in the last 4 to 5 years, we've made it very structured, where
Yep.
we do at least a lecture every month.
Yep.
On a Wednesday night. They are generally paleo-esque in topic, meaning that we talk about the paleo diet in some way and
Yep.
integrate how chiropractic fits into that
Yes.
perfectly. On the opposite months, we talk about our program that helps people, kids and adults with ADD and ADHD,
Yep.
that integrates chiropractic, exercise, and nutrition
Yep.
into one neat package. And then throughout the year, through random months, we sprinkle in other topics like Healthy 24/7, Superfoods lecture, pregnancy and chiropractic, and in your specific lectures that you give on a monthly basis on specific diseases like thyroid, pregnancy, it was not a disease, but pregnancy, asthma, allergies, and then our outside lectures too that we do it anywhere that we get the opportunity to speak, just to give the community a resource and a place to have as much information on what true health is as we possibly can.
Absolutely. And if anybody would like more information on our lectures, they're free to call the office 201-858-0444. Just ask Alexis or one of the front desk staff to grab either Dr. Noah or myself because you'd like us to come and speak. And we'd be willing to speak at any event for your group, your church, your work. We love speaking, super important.
Or to set up a 30-day paleo challenge for your organization as well.
Right, absolutely, that would be brilliant. So talk about some of the results that we've gotten with the paleo challenge.
That's really the most exciting part, isn't it? So we've taken 40 people through this, and we've done it ourselves. We live this lifestyle obviously ourselves. But some of the results are, the obvious one is people lose weight. I would say the average person loses 12 pounds in 30 days, but sustainable weight, not something that they're going to gain back the second the 30-day challenge is over. But the most we've lost is 23 pounds. Our patient has lost 23 pounds.
23 pounds in 30 days.
In 30 days.
30 days.
30 days.
23 pounds.
But more fascinating are the things like my skin is cleared up and I'm glowing, or I sleep through the night, or I don't have to take Lexapro anymore because I don't have that feeling of anxiety, stress, or anxiety anymore. Those are the kind of really things that bring it home. Because when somebody can get off that medication and you know that they're just going to get married and they're likely going to have kids and they're not on medication anymore, you've changed multiple lives in one neat package.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about the stuff that we measure but then isn't really appreciated, like their heart rate variability. Talk about that for a second. Explain what heart rate variability is.
This goes back to the technology. Heart rate variability has been used for a little while with elite athletes to tailor make the exact right training program for them, to see if they're overtraining or undertraining, and how balanced the two sides of their nervous system are. Their parasympathetic, the rest relaxation side, and their fight or flight side is balanced. Because the more balanced they are and the better they can train, now we're talking about elite world-class Olympic athletes. And it's been used in that field for a long time. But now we can use it, or we do use it in chiropractic, because we know when we adjust the spine, that helps heart rate variability balance. And we also know without a doubt that when you remove offending foods and reduce inflammation in a person's body, heart rate variability also improves too. And we see that consistently on our tests. We're going to eventually publish this information without a doubt, because we've proved it over and over again. But the bottom line with heart rate variability is it's not a heart test, but it uses the rhythm of your heart. You're supposed to have a rhythm or variability throughout the beats of your heart. And the more variability there is, that means the more balanced your nervous system is and the less stressed you are. And that's a healthier person.
You're essentially living in the sweet spot, because when we explain it, it's, okay, so this is how, one side of your nervous system is how people are after Thanksgiving dinner. And you can't live your life all the time that way. And the other side of your nervous system is when you're walking down the block and somebody jumps out behind a car and scares the bejesus out of you. So you can't live your life that way either. You have to live in the sweet spot. And what we see is with proper diet, with exercise, with proper rest and exercise, and chiropractic care, that we gravitate into that sweet spot. And that's the variability of the heart rate. It can't be the same all the time.
And it couldn't be an easier test too. You stick your hand into this little box, it calibrates it, you sit there for 5 minutes, and boom, you have an answer. And it's really profound.
Absolutely. So we've taken, what we say, it was about 40 people through it, and the average weight loss is about 12 pounds, and that is life-changing. We've had one particular person who's been through all 5.
Yes.
And has lost about 70 pounds.
She's lost 70 pounds.
It's dramatic. It has changed her life. She looks 20 years younger. She looks remarkable. Knee pain has gone away. Sleeping better. You name it. And it's just, and people say, just from giving up wheat and dairy, and we tell them, yes, just from giving up wheat, dairy.
Yeah, she's a great example, but you're a prime example. 100 pounds
Right.
in seven years,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
We have another patient that lost 50 pounds
Yep.
since we've begun these challenges.
Absolutely.
We have another person that's lost 40 pounds. It's just obvious that people that adopt this lifestyle
Yes.
and then grasp hold of it
Yep.
feel better,
Yep.
function better, lose weight, and look better than they ever have before.
Absolutely.
It's not as restrictive as you might think. Once you get through those 30 days, it becomes commonplace, and you're just looking. You know you feel better, and you know it's the way you're supposed to eat, and then you just continue to do it.
Absolutely. So, in parting, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we say goodnight?
If you're interested in the race, please sign up at www.practicehard.com. All the proceeds go to the Friends of Special Children. It's a great day, a great event for Bayonne. We're blessed with good weather usually. If you're interested in our paleo challenges, please call the office. It could change your life. And if you know anybody that lives near the Brownstone Diner, send them over there for some chiropractic care too.
Yep. So, a couple of housekeeping tips. One, if you want to meet us on Facebook, you can like us at www.facebook.com/Health and Wellness Show in Bayonne. We're also on iTunes under the Health and Wellness Show in Bayonne as well. So please look us up. This is our 9th episode, and we look forward to seeing and hearing from you in the streets of Bayonne. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.